Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophia, pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue exploring contemporary Chinese expressions. We have been through history this year, and December we come to our contemporary life. And Chinese is a language, it's a living thing. People living in this language keeps creating new expressions, and we're looking at some newest expressions. And I categorize them as net speak because people online, most likely the first ones starting to use that expression, and enough people know about it. And then it comes to here that I'm going to talk about. Hong wen is today's expression. Hong, color red, wen, warm. When these two put together, red, warm. What do you think is happening? Okay, for me, even if this is a pretty good one-on-one mapping to English, red, warm, without checking where it came from, I have no clue. So this came from a computer game. So gamers, in probably English as well, that a certain state of the gamers when they start to, I guess, get going to be upgraded in their skill level. The character of the gamer, the character in the game, the player of the game is going to have this red, warm coloring notation. Warm is a temperature marker. Okay, red is color, so temperature probably expressed through color, just like heat map, right? So this temperature change shows, I guess, how much more, just like your body when you're doing heavy lifting, like having a lot of exercise, then your body temperature is going up. So the player in a computer game, even if they're not biological entities, that if they by color shows the temperature is warming up, that means that character is going to gain new skills, something like that. So hong wen as a gamer lingo get to be used outside there. Probably younger generation, I would imagine Gen Z, Gen Alpha, even if they play computer games more. I mean, I'm not a gamer, so I'm totally outside that world. But for gamers, it's really like living in a parallel reality, right? Then they would be easy to recognize what this expression means to them in the context from game. Now, from the gaming world, transfer that phenomenon using the red color to note the body temperature, to note that how agitated that person is, then use on our reality. So from digital reality to our still very much offline, online, pretty complicated reality. So this is a lingo from computer gaming home individually, okay? You can see simplified, traditional, and 2,000 years ago, gradually getting more complicated. And the home is made of this fabric or thread, which you can visualize as two spools of thread connected. And that means it's a long thread for the sake of storage or transportation. You know, they are going to be wound onto spools, and two spools connected together that eventually are going to either make this drapey symbol. So this three strokes downward pointing, it could be the fabric draping. We have a jing, that means exactly that. It's a fabric. It's kind of like a scarf. And then the other reading is it came from trees, and trees have their root pointing downward. So from the tree symbol or plant symbol also have this downward three verticalized downward pointing icon. So either it's a source or it's a utility. Either way, the two spools of thread connected to the thing together to make the thread or fabric symbol. The right side is engineering tool. I think it's called the fly square that engineers use, especially for, I guess, architecture to build houses to make sure you're having perfectly perpendicular wall to the ground. So this perpendicularness was measured by this tri-square that by itself created like four squares. In math, it's this thing, right? This is a square. We have four of them in this view. So that square, a fly square, eventually, because it's simple and it's kind of universal, I guess in ancient times as a common tool to be used by many people. So as some common everyday object, at least in a field, people will recognize there's two horizontal lines connected by a vertical line. Looks like that, and it means engineering. It becomes like a craftsmanship's tool to represent the whole profession. And this professional craftsmanship paired with thread. So it's like thread crafters. Who are they? They are people who produce, I guess, before industrial age, before mass production was a thing, household produce their own clothing. So the women, most likely, living in their household are going to contribute to the household economy by making fabrics, starting from the thread all the way. So all the craftsmanship re-involved from the thread represented fabric making, eventually clothing making thing, represent the whole gender. So I guess in ancient times, females were this either red or pink at certain point, color wearers that guys they stay away from red color unless it's like a wedding dress in ancient traditional Chinese. That both the bride and grooms wear red because it's a good color. It's a color of blood. That means the bloodline is going to continue running when people marry. So that's the implied message. Red color in Chinese basically is I guess it depends. It's a good thing most of the time. So the red color wearing gender, which are women, the craftsmanship, the craftswoman, dealing with the thread of fabric, eventually use them like a gender specific color becomes this red. All right. When we have water symbol on the left side, that's continuous stream in the middle and the broken streams or currents going in different directions. That's how water in nature flow. And Chinese abstracted beautifully, and that give you enough detail to just by looking at it, you probably would be able to recognize and remember what that is. It's water symbol on the left side. The top right is a cell, prison cell with a person in it. So this is a side view, profile view of person. The shorter line is the front side of the body. The longer, bendier one is the back torso. So profile view of a person inside this box. And that's a visual representation of prisoner. And then we have this glass. I would imagine it's glass, but the shape looks like glass. I know ancient times the glass in China was pretty late, like imported from the West. The glassware, the whole technique of using glass was a later thing. We have porcelain, okay, similar container thing. But for in the museums, most of the drinkware that preserved over time is not clay or glass. Those are easily breakable unless you pick up all the pieces in a burial site or something. Majority of the drinkware is a metal piece that's cast bronze metal cup that I guess rich families can afford. That's more permanent and a serves as a function of a glassware that you hold with it. So the whole thing is this glass shape, and then you have your two hands holding onto it. That's the whole symbol here. So that means drink. And here, water, heat up, drink for prisoners. So that probably was ancient practice. Not sure today probably microwave something that's easy enough, but the way prisoners were treated back then, at least from this character we're unpacking here, shows that the human side of a Chinese society treat prisoners with kindness because Chinese believe everything you feed yourself, from food to drink, fluid, need to be warm enough so that you don't take in the coldness, the chillness, the han, you know. Uh, it's a Chinese, I guess, Chinese medicine philosophy about the coldness and the temperature contrast between the outside thing, that what you intake into your body. If it is too cold, it's bad for your health. That's the general belief. So even treating prisoners, when we feed them something, drink food, we're going to heat it up. And so the whole imagery of water, glass, prisoner form the picture of we know what's happening there is warming the drink for them. So red, warm, together would mean in social media age of this agitated state. And that somebody got, you can almost see on this primate the redness in the eyes, right? The expression, the agitation in the facial expression, and the heat. So when you got, I guess, high adrenaline or cortisol, your body chemically, biochemically going to get ready to for a fight or something like that, right? So that's the Hong Wen. Chinese use these two characters from the gaming world to express the human condition when they have a temperament change, not temperament, humor, I guess, humorous change or biochemical change that they're going to have this highly elevated agitation state. Hong Wen. Thank you for your time. See you another day.